Hello and a very warm welcome to the Values Workshop. I have with me one of my regular guests, Rupa. Welcome to the show again, Rupa.
Thanks, Bunty, for having me. It is a joy to be here.
Uh, uh, so one of the things that has been eating into me is I watch a lot of reels and shorts, and even on a day that I put my Insta off and I am watching something on YouTube. So I watch a lot of content which is 30 second or 1 minute or short form of content, and it makes me knowledgeable about a lot of things. And but the point is that I'm no longer curious about what I want to search for, because what goes on is keeps on feeding me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
having said that, having a teen kid and her friends and uh, her peers, whenever they meet me, they find me cool. So, which is something I've had to qualify that parenting does not depend upon the coolness quotient. I've been very clear with my kid on that. But having said that, I've kind of thought about it, and uh, I realize there is this inherent curiosity about people and how they think and what makes them tick or what happens in the world, and that is what makes the connection happen. So these are my first thoughts about a topic that I'm thinking in an over-informed world. If we were to look at curiosity, what are the things that come to us? So this is one experience that comes to me. Do you want to share what is your experience of curiosity without me asking an actual question right now?
Um, I think we could do with a lot of us could do with a lot more curiosity than we currently have. Beyond the gossip value, I mean, that sort of curiosity is not what I'm talking about when I say curious. It's beyond that.
Okay.
Uh, for me, I personally think curiosity is one of the main elements, especially as we grow older, that keeps us in your, like you just said, cool. That keeps us cool because it keeps us more alive. I think it's quite fundamental for you to feel and behave alive. One thing is to breathe and say, yeah, we are breathing, so we are alive. But to truly live life fully and with that curiosity gives that extra kick about life beyond just surviving day after day. So yeah, it's a very important aspect which a lot of people overlook or don't give much importance to, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. So you use some terms that kicked off. How would humans have behaved in Neanderthal times when they were roaming jungles and survival would be important? Would curiosity be one of the aspects that made us survive, or did it make it more dangerous for us?
It would have been about gathering experiences, I'm for sure. In some cases, it would have killed some of the Neanderthals because they tried something, they were curious about a poisonous plant and they ate it and they died, possibly. And in other cases, they figured out wheels and fire and all of those other things. If there was no curiosity, if they were happy just, hunting and gathering, they wouldn't have evolved, they wouldn't have invented anything. I think at the base of invention is again the curiosity element. Without that, I don't think we can be innovative.
Okay.
Um,
So this
it
is
feeds into
now,
life experiences.
yeah. So I would want to bring this back to the present time and connect the two. How does how do you as a professional in the medical field uh, and kind of a bit of psychological and mental health kind of role that you play for your patients, how do you connect this aspect of curiosity driving you forward? Uh, are there any practices that you do? Is there any habit that you think you have which kind of fuels this thing? Or are you just blessed as a human being to have this, as a particular kind of human being to have this aspect in your personality?
I think it's a bit of both. To be honest, I think it's a bit of both. I have been a bit lucky and blessed that I had that naturally as part of my personality. It wasn't a huge effort per se, But again, I am quite wary too in my practice, like you were saying. I have to, even if I meet somebody with, for example, somebody who's had a similar life experience as me, for example, I shouldn't and I wouldn't assume that I know exactly where they are at in life. Because even though our experiences might be similar, the way we respond to it, react to it, or how we perceive it doesn't have to be similar at all. Because each one of us is so unique. Even though two people having the very same experience, very rarely do they respond, or the outcome is not going to be similar at all. There will be differences. Again, it is different. It might depend as to how different the differences are, but there will be differences. It's impossible to be an exact spot on. But the human biases are so strong that we tend to assume, without the lack of curiosity being one of the element, that, oh, I know all about that. Oh, this way, when this happens, that's exactly how you will feel, or that's how life becomes, that assumption is the definite killing of curiosity for sure. So that sort of keeps you stagnant in that pool of experiences that you have had, which is great, but that doesn't have to be their experience. So if I have to be an honest health professional who has to, my top priority is my patient's well-being or my client's well-being, I can't be stuck in my head and my biases, or my assumptions about life, or even beliefs of life. Everything is going to be different with them. So I have to be, and it comes fortunately easily to me to be curious as to how did those experience, where did they take them, and where are they at right now, and where do you think they're heading with that. So that sort of thing is absolutely crucial.
Okay. Is there is there any example you can give of this to simplify the uh,
um Let me think of a very simple example. So uh, there is this very sort of it's more in the sense of, I've heard this in motivational talks and stuff, where there were shoe salesmen, there were two shoe salesmen, and they were told, oh, this place, in Africa, for example, you need to go there and sell shoes. So one salesman goes there and says, oh, but they're all walking barefoot. Nobody's wearing shoes. So how do I sell shoes to somebody who's not wearing shoes? And another salesman goes to the same place, looks at all these barefoot. This is brilliant. Nobody here has shoes. I can sell shoes to anyone and everyone. So the same people, same perspective, same scenario, but they have different perceptions of it depending on their belief system and thoughts. So it's where you
no,
are at. And
I'm not coming from there. So if I come to you with a certain problem, okay, I have a whatever, a cough and cold or something more deeper, okay, a viral infection, and it's not going, and it's happening very often now. Post COVID, I think there is no common cold. Common cold seems to last and last and last. Um, so obviously you have handled a lot of patients, and uh, I have, because of my life experience, taken a lot of drugs for common cold at different points of time in different ways. So I also come to you with an expectation that you respect that I have tried a lot of things, don't try to demean my experience. Now, in that case, how do you, because there is a certain discipline that you are following as a medical professional, that point A, okay, if this is not working, let's try this, let's try this.
mm, 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 mm,
Now,
mm.
where does curiosity play a part, or is it too dangerous to leave it as open-ended as, oh, curiosity, let me just try this on him? Because there is health concern, and I also have a related question, but please answer this first.
Yeah, it can be a bit borderline dangerous to be randomly trying things on people. I don't think it will bode well for them or for me. But at the same time, it's not everybody with the same sort of symptoms. Like, I know you, where you come from, I know you reasonably, your diet, your lifestyle, your way of thinking. So I can, for example, make an educated guess about what you could have tried and not, and ask you, have you tried this, Bunty? Maybe you would have tried that. and then come on to a solution which you probably hadn't thought of, or it didn't occur to you. Probably you knew it, but just didn't occur to you. So we arrive there eventually. But another person who's probably coming to me for the first time, of whom I have no idea about, I have to be curious that their cold and cough is not necessarily the result of a possibly COVID scenario, but it could be something as grave as they have had a course of antibiotics, and it's since then that I have this cold and cough, which might totally match the symptoms of yours, but the reason might be totally different. So if I give them the same remedies to you, it may not necessarily work or address the root cause anyway. They might have temporary relief and will still be hanging on. So that's level of curiosity with zero assumptions is crucial for my understanding and my own knowledge and for their well-being. I'm not sure if that's where you were.
And uh, that is a good explanation of where I wanted to go, because the earlier story that you mentioned can very easily be classified as an attitudinal thing rather than just curiosity about how
Yeah,
the other people are doing this. So I didn't want it to lie
fair
there,
enough.
as
Yeah,
well as we all read a lot of stories, and personalized stories
true.
are more welcome on the values workshop.
True. I know people can relate to it better. I
Ah.
agree. Yeah.
Also, that experience always adds that nuance that you can, which otherwise gets sometimes missed. So my question, original question before I got this thing in between, is there a flip side to curiosity on a personal level also? So I'll personalize this further. So people who we stay with seem to be our uh, most difficult to stay with kind of people. Quote unquote family, friends, people whom we know well, we know what pushes their buttons, and very often in the heat of the moment, we. So today, for the first time, when we brought this topic up and you spoke a few things, it came to me that we are no longer curious about our family. We plan, when you said that we think we know it all about the other person, and it is such a grave mistake, because every day there are new experiences happening to each one of us within the same geography also.
Yeah.
And sometimes something might have triggered something new and we are unprepared because we refuse to look at it. So now combining the two, or separately you can answer, is there a flip side to curiosity in your experience? And what do you have to say about how to develop this in a manner, because I love the way you describe the medical aspect of it with your personal experience, that you are uh, fairly curious in my case, but you are also fairly curious in the other person's case, but the nuance of it differs because you want to uh, the final result is what is driving the level of curiosity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that's a very fantastic point you brought up as to how I think somewhere overexposure brings about the complacency, where, yeah, I know about my mother, oh, I know about my spouse, or I know about my child. Sort of understanding is one of those human biases which I think a lot of us can't help. And it's a constant, you have to be really consciously aware that, oh, no, I shouldn't be doing that. It doesn't, benefit either of us. So it's a very good point that you brought up. It's quite brilliant, actually. I think hardly people think about it from that sense. They just are happy to sit on their laurels. Oh, I know everything about that person, sort of thing. Um, but yeah, like you rightly said, each one of us is changing and evolving, sometimes drastically, sometimes marginally, but we are changing. I am not the same person I was day before yesterday, last week, last month, or 10 years ago, and neither are you. Like, when they say that you can't dip in the same river twice,
Yeah.
is because neither is the river the same because it's flowing, nor are you the same. You have changed too. Like I said, sometimes it is so minuscule that you don't quite register the change. But it is cumulative. It builds up. Grain of sand at a time, sort of equivalent. But you see the effect maybe 5 years down the road that, oh, you have come this far, and you hadn't quite realized that you had. So same thing applies to our family members too, which too much exposure or the complacency prevents us from seeing that. So
How
for
do
the
you
benefit.
use the curiosity aspect that you mentioned, that you keep for people outside your family? how can one nurture it? Or you can think aloud. I know there are no ready answers
Yeah,
per
there is no
se,
ready-made answers. So
but what can be done, or what is the aspect of mind space that you use when you're dealing with a patient vis-a-vis when you're dealing with a family member, for example? Is there some shift that we can consciously pursue, perhaps?
I think this comes easy with the patient and it's more difficult with
Well,
the
that goes without that goes without saying. But
other than that, but the core principle, the core thing that you have to be aware of is more or less the same. Because, okay, oh, I know this, I know my spouse loves this dish, but rather than assume that, oh, he will enjoy it or she will enjoy it, you make it a point to ask, I was planning of making this for you. Would you be happy to have it? You know, that sort of thing. Even in the smallest of matters, it's a very
ah,
insignificant example. But just
no,
not
no,
take it for, I
basically
was thinking, I thought
asking.
you will enjoy this. And I thought that's where it came from. Do you still
Yeah,
enjoy it?
yeah, that's a nice way of
Um,
looking at things. Actually
Yeah, so it's
asking
just that
and
conscious, yeah, conscious without the assumption that, oh, my spouse will definitely love it or my mom will love this color. And then mom might say, oh, I have 10 saris of this color. Why are you getting me the same color again? I love it, but now I'm overdoing it. So you can't necessarily take it for granted in that
wonderful.
sense. Um, so at the core, it is the same. It's just you being aware of your biases and your thought processes and sort of keeping them in mind, but not taking them for granted.
Okay. So, wonderful, because you've answered one part of the question, the difficult part. Let's see how you how you explore the other one. So when does curiosity become? So I was just thinking there is this phrase called curiosity killed the cat. Where does that come from and how does it relate to us? Do you want to expound a bit on that? How did that
Uh,
happen?
I get that level of curiosity is probably taking it to a different level of nosiness, I would say, maybe.
Okay.
And that's what kills the cat. Um, it is where, how also probably being aware of where, how the curiosity serves you might sort of be able to draw the line. If the curiosity is for your own sake and for your decision making, then it is going to serve you positively. But it is just about being intrusive into somebody else's process or life or situation, which does nothing to your evolution or your life purpose. Then that's being nosy and intrusive and prying on somebody else's. So it is still curious. I'm curious as to how you're going to manage that and how what you're going to tell that person. But how does it impact you? So it is, I guess, where and how the curiosity serves you is a very important distinction. That's where it becomes gossip value. When it has nothing to do with you, it's just entertainment value for me in some cases. And if it is harmless entertainment, that's okay. But you have to be aware. We have to be aware as to why I'm doing what I'm doing and asking what I'm asking.
There is somebody who sent me some stuff on right speech. It's something that I'm consciously trying to uh, understand and develop. Uh, so one of the five factors that the Buddha has said is idle chatter is not good. And so then there are obviously, is it kind, is it courteous, even when you have to do chatter, is it? I really like the aspect that it impacts the mind, and then once the mind is impacted, the other senses automatically get impacted. So while you're trying to watch your tongue, think before you speak, kind of thing. But because there is this pause and, or at least their consciousness, I don't, the pause hasn't come yet. But still the element of, oh, even while in the middle of it, I realize that I'm
That's still
wrong.
a huge step
I'm
forward.
wrong, so it is like a break, but it also impacts the sight and the sound and everything else also within me, because it tells my mind what am I interested in and how am I, what is my basic motivation or intention to hold this podcast, talk to you. Am I wanting to come out clever? Like Manoj has this thing. He says, why should you always you be the one who's asking questions? Why can't we do it the other way around? I said I when I started this, it was always supposed to be a conversation.
Right.
Unfortunately or fortunately, I find that once the answer is given, people stop there.
I know. I
And
know.
and
Good
once they
point,
do,
actually. Yes. Yes.
and once they do, it is my prerogative to keep on continuing so that
True.
uh,
True.
the audio version of the podcast, it doesn't sound boring. So when I
Right.
put this up on Spotify, at least on video, you can see, okay, these are both stumbling, so there is some
Yeah.
humor to it.
The
But
body
on the
language.
audio version, though, there is just silence, so that
True.
becomes a difficult part.
Yeah.
But having
True.
said that, how does one are there any, we did realize that whether it is personal or professional, what I took out of what you said was respect is the first basis of curiosity. I should respect both you as a person and also your boundaries that you're setting. Can look, let's not talk about, even if I am going to benefit you. So I am doing this discomfort coaching, and very often it happens that people don't want to open up. So I have there the idea is to go to spaces which are dark and which are going to affect you. So very often I use my own examples, and I'll end up showing vulnerability to a higher degree even before they have opened up, to say, "Okay, look, I am not being uncomfortable saying this about myself, and at no point should you feel pressured to say something or not say something because of this conversation. But if you feel that you want help in a certain area, we'll need to talk." And even in business matters, while all of this looks emotional, it is not. Like one of my clients had a problem that he had one client in mind, and that client wasn't falling in place, and he kept constantly in the same refrain, यार बंटी तू समझ नहीं रहा है, this is make or break for me because I have set up my entire office because of this guy. I said, yeah, but he's not responding. You can't go into his mind and say कि no this, because the client was getting very irritated that मेरे juniors का बात मेरे पास क्यों बार बार ला रहा है. If they are not giving work, I can't do much.
Right.
So he was caught in that, and then one fine day suddenly he calls up and he tells me, "Ke, you know what? I spoke to somebody I had not spoken to in 20 years, and that
हाँ.
client says I will be very happy to meet you.
अरे
I
वाह.
don't know where this goes." I said, "Wonderful. This is what I've been trying to tell you. Okay, you can't be putting all your eggs in one basket and saying it is not working. I cannot help it. Like I am
Mm-hmm.
not a magician of any kind. I can only
Right.
shift your biases because I know I have been biased about a lot of things.
True.
It's
True.
not my greatness or some degree that I have that I can know in your what is going on in your mind. But you will have to at some point loosen up a little to. So again, coming back to curiosity by itself can be a double-edged sword. But
Mm.
there has to be this aspect of respect and uh, genuine empathy, I would think. Now that I mentioned this example, it came to me. I was trying to look what was I thinking. To me, it mattered the most that he gets more clients and gets out of this roadblock kind of thing that he had in his business.
I think somewhere, if I may add to that example, it's a nice example you pointed out, that it's also letting life flow naturally to you rather than wanting to control key. I want to, that's a destination I want to, and this is the route I need to go to that destination. You could have multiple paths to the same destination. All he wanted was a lot of clients and money flowing in. Why does
This,
it have to be that one client in that
this
sense?
is
So it's
beautiful.
just
Now you have triggered a new thought, which means that even if you are curious, it is not a guarantee that you will get the knowledge or the understanding that you've been seeking. You may have an ulterior motive to be curious. So I am talking to you about mental health and physical health. Very often we talk about uh, past life therapy, other things. Just because I've heard you, presuming that I understood what you're saying is a little uh, taking a jump where there is none required. There is just information that has come to you. You be happy about knowing that information, and yeah, it might be good when you're talking to three people and showing off. Okay, look, I know about this subject also. There, there was a time I was like that. I cannot deny that when I was growing up, a lot of it was that you wanted to be equal to all the intelligent people in the room, and when they were talking, you had to have a point of view, and
yeah,
it
yeah,
is
yeah.
it is a very wannabe effect that I guess it's part of growing up. At least mine it was. But Why am I bringing this up? Because by itself, just saying being curious in a over-informed world does not solve the issue of just being curious is good enough. There
No,
will be
no.
other aspects you have to take care of because human relationships are tricky at most times, and you need to absolutely respect boundaries and uh, intersex relationships. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
there are things that I can ask your husband, but I can't ask you.
yeah, yeah.
In today's time, I have realized one new thing. Being the oversensitive person that I am about certain things, I find a lot of this quote unquote male talk and slapping your back and saying, "Arey, come on, man," and then saying something very rude may not be acceptable to me anymore.
Yeah.
Uh, where the same thing, Shah Rukh Khan has said something very interesting. So he was asked, "What is the one thing that is a strict no-no for you
Mm,
vis-a-vis women? Because
mm,
you give them so much respect, they all seem to love you." So
mm.
he said, "One thing that I absolutely can't stand is you can't slap them on the back and treat them like guys. No matter how they are and what they profess to be, you have no right to treat them like that." And I thought, what an insight that is.
Mm,
Because
mm,
as a male, I might have done this earlier. I'm
mm.
sure I have done this earlier, where I've just spoken like just because we are buddies, we can speak whatever we want. No, you can't. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
but there is a certain modicum of decency that one needs to have. As much as possible, the woman has every prerogative to behave the way she wants because she is chosen to be show a side of herself to you which she doesn't perhaps show to others, or it is her
Others, yes,
personality.
yes, yes.
But
Yeah.
it doesn't give you the right because you are really intruding into dicey territory.
Yeah, yeah, like you say, you can't do it maybe on the first or second or the first few meets, but yeah, if she's okay with it and she lets
I'm
you,
saying again,
yeah.
but what he meant was, see, publicly he's seen people do it. And I thought okay, it
Ah,
was a big deal because maybe you don't want to show that side to others. Maybe you don't want others to treat you like that, like I am
yeah,
treating.
exactly. Yeah, you don't want to set the precedence likely, yes.
Ah.
Oh, Satya,
So
very true.
I thought again, curiosity, respect, all of these are then intermingling and getting.
Another thing, if I may add about curiosity, like you said, the double-edged sword. So, yeah, true, it is a double-edged sword because sometimes curiosity can be satisfied and it gives you what you want. And I guess at other times it may not. It
Hmm.
might lead you down a path which you then realize, oh, I didn't want to know that, or I didn't want to go there. Which serves a purpose too, mind you. It has its purpose to know what I definitely don't want.
Yeah, yeah.
So there is nothing negative in that sense about curiosity either way. Either you get
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you want and you're happy, or if you don't, and that's fine too. At least now you know that you're not happy about something, or you don't want, you don't have that as your choice of life choices. So
Okay.
either way, it serves you.
Uh, one last track of thought with curiosity. How do you see it serving people who are seeking knowledge? Uh, what are the advantages? And I'm talking sheerly knowledge, not knowledge about another person necessarily, but a field. Suppose I'm artificial intelligence is something that is opening up, and in our field, it is everybody I speak to seems to, if they are professionals and I am wanting to talk to them, they speak as if they know everything. And when once I start talking to them, I realize that everybody is fumbling in the dark. They have one or two experiences which have been either good, bad, whatever. They speak about that, but like advertising has also been related to this curiosity aspect, and every time you are given a new job, you have to find out what is it that works with the target audience and stuff like that.
True, true.
Those basics are what I still seem to respect in my conversation. So, my question to you is, how do you see curiosity as a positive and a negative in the knowledge gathering aspect of it?
As a knowledge gathering thing, I am not sure if there are too many negatives. In the sense, you could overdo something and go very tunnel visioned into something. That's the only negative I can think of. Like you have specializing of the ENT and then just the ear and then the left ear specializing. So that level of
That
tunnel
happens.
vision is
Is it
unnecessary
is
and
it
everything.
real?
Oh,
Is it
no.
no no? Oh shit! Sorry.
Fortunately, not yet.
Yeah, yeah, because that would be really something.
But the sense of specializing that they have, the sense of reductionist approach, could be one of the maybe downsides of curiosity, where you're just so uber focused on that one thing. Um, but at other times, I'm thinking it is fundamental for knowledge gathering. You can't, no matter what field it is, across our lifetimes, we'll always have something new that we didn't think of, we didn't know until then, till our dying breath. If somebody says, "Oh, I know it all about any field," I think they are fooling themselves. I don't think there is any field in this world that any one individual can master 100% in their lifetime. I personally don't think so.
Yes.
So anybody who thinks that is not
Foolish.
there. Yeah.
In fact, I have a morbid joke on that.
Go on.
Even the dying breath can be an experience only once.
Once. Yes.
So only then you will know what it feels like dying. You can keep claiming, "Okay, oh shit, I was dying, man. She was so boring." So you weren't dying, man. You will die. You will know for sure.
Yes, you will. There'll be no dubiousness about it.
So wonderful. I think it's been a very interesting topic, and it's opened up a lot of small spiritual nuances for me in terms of, again, that pause is needed before taking any subject and saying, "Okay, I know what it means." So when, even though we decided that curiosity was a good subject to speak about, uh, it opened up things that I did not see at all, and it makes me just pause and reflect on them. uh, how good is curiosity? How much curiosity is good enough? What are the boundaries that one should take into consideration? uh, what are the other aspects that round off the curiosity towards a good way? I remember one of the jumps in my own Vipassana courses was one of the longer courses that I ended up doing. So, Guruji Goenka says, he says, "So now you know it takes 8 minutes," something on these lines, not
Uh-huh.
verbatim. Now you
Uh,
know that it takes 8 minutes for the sun's rays to reach the earth. So
uh.
what? What are you going to do about it? He says just curiosity, 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 connecting knowledge for the heck of knowledge and not knowing where it is going, unless it changes you for the better.
Yeah,
You,
yeah,
you
exactly.
cannot
No,
just
that is a
keep
very
on being.
important point. Well said.
I thought it hit me very badly because I was that person. As a writer, very often, if I had to, you remember our first chat,
Yeah.
I came up with some brilliant idea and I thought you were stupid that you weren't seeing it. And you said, "Kare, good attempt, but look, I don't want to do this kind of thing." But this whole thing about, "Ke, look, I am a master of your subject also," was a big deal because I have been curious enough to look at it from a different angle.
Mm, mm.
So that isn't the right way to look at things. You got to wait and just watch and see if whatever you know is good enough, or again be curious about the new mix that is happening.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, wonderful topic, and thank you once again for taking the
Very
time.
thank you. I don't know how you come up with these fantastic topics, and the places they lead us to is just as exciting. So thanks to
Yeah, yeah,
you.
yeah. Wonderful. Thank you. I shall see you around.
You're
Bye.
on.